Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. This is going to be my final video on the Quarry. In this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my review. It's kind of off the cusp. I didn't write it all out like I did my previous ones. It's kind of off the chain. Fresh, right after I finished the game. So I'm going to kind of go through the same review process as I did all my other ones. I had 10 categories. I give it a score in each one, total it up, give it a letter grade. While I'm doing this, most of the time on those other ones, I gave you a, basically, it was my first part of the game I was playing, gameplay, for you to watch. What we're going to do this time is, I'm just going to go through movie mode, and we pretty much know how everybody lives, except for Caitlin. Now, of course, that really tilts me a little bit. One death, and it ruined my whole game. But basically, this one, we could go through everyone dies, so we would get to see, I would assume, a preset determined way of somehow everybody dies, or director's chair. But I don't really want to have to do anything, because I'm going to be explaining my review, so we're going to just go through everybody dies. So then at least you guys will be able to see the deaths if you don't know them already, since you didn't get to see them through my perspective besides Caitlin. So we'll let that play, and then I'll just go through my review for the game, my wayward thoughts. I really didn't think about the fact that if they're talking, I'll be talking at the same time. We're just going to go with it. So, first, no, why are you making a mess of paper? Oh. This is why everything's electronic. I'm moving all my review crap to my computer instead of my notebook from now on. But, if the movie's ever gonna play, maybe not. Jesus Christ. It's still doing the loading symbol down at the bottom. It's gonna wait before, I start talking, so you guys could actually be watching something instead of just listening to me drone on forever. But it looks like it doesn't want to play it. Maybe. Holy fucking shit. Still loading. Oh, now it's stuck. This game, I swear, has the one thing I will not miss, and one part of me is glad this game is finally over for me. I don't have to worry about this stuttering bullshit anymore. I don't know what the deal was. I'm gonna assume it was the launcher, the 2K launcher. Why buy a game from Steam and have a completely different launcher? That makes no sense to me. Oh god. Oh, it's gonna start it from the beginning. Oh, so you're gonna see the whole thing. Hold on. Okay, this works for me. I woke up. However, while this is going, we're going to turn the audio down so you guys can actually hear me. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just enough for you. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit more. The music's a little bit louder than I thought it would be. Sorry, guys. There. Should be good enough. Okay. So while this plays, so I guess you're actually not really going to see any deaths, so I apologize for that. False advertising on my part. I thought it was just going to kind of go quickly through and show like the deaths and things, but I guess you actually get to watch the whole thing, what would happen if they all died. I do not plan on doing another playthrough and recording the deaths, so if you guys do want to see how all the counselors die, I know there are plenty of videos on YouTube that show all the deaths. You're more than welcome to go check those out. The only one you got to see was Caitlin, which was pretty fucking brutal. And you did see the Hackett's die, I guess, from my point of view. So, anyway, on to the rating. So, first one is the interest value. So, did it peak Does it pique gamers' interests? The design of the game, so like the front cover of the game, is really good. It has all the characters on it, the name of the game, the background. It shows it's kind of like a camp or in the woods. So the summary, I can't really. I should have pulled it up on Steam so I could tell you. Give me a second. I'll just Google it really quick while this is playing. I mean, if you look at the ratings on this game has really high ratings. So I'm not the only one that enjoys it. So basically, the summary is, when the sun goes down on the last night of summer camp, 9 teenage counselors are plunged into an unpredictable night of horror. The only thing worse than the blood-drenched locals and creatures hunting them are the unimaginable choices you must make to help them survive. Okay, so I think the summary is really good. Overall, I think this game would pique people's interests. I'm not sure what like the back of the cover would show or anything, so I can't base it off that. I only know what the front cover shows because I got on PC and not disc. I think, though, the thing that is really good for this game is for those that don't know that it's made by people who did Until Dawn. They don't have the ability to compare it. I think the reason a lot of people don't like this, not a lot of people, but the ones who don't like this game are comparing it too much to Until Dawn. Until Dawn was a masterpiece, and most people that play it, 99% of people that played it, would agree. And the problem is people start comparing games to Until Dawn, and it's never going to live up to that reputation, like the Dark Pictures anthology. People put it up against Until Dawn, and that's probably why a lot of people did not enjoy it. If you just took the game for the way it was and took it at face value, a lot of people actually enjoyed Dark Pictures. I did, specifically. I really enjoyed it. So, same with this game. A lot of people try to compare it to Until Dawn, and that's where it's going to fall short, is for those that have played both, they probably do think that Until Dawn is still better than this. For me, it's opposite, because solely I didn't have a PlayStation. I didn't get to play Until Dawn, and they only had it for PlayStation and those PlayStation exclusives. Exclusivity is something I will never like. I hate it. To me, it's just asinine to think that if you make something exclusive, it's going to sell more money. No, it's not. You could go on and on all you want until you're blue in the face telling me that, oh, it would get people to buy a different console. No, it's fucking not. People don't just have $500, $600 to whip out of their ass and pay for another console. If you're going to make a game, if you put it on all platforms, that's more platforms for people to play on and buy. I mean, would you rather take the risk and hope that somebody buys a $600 console just to get a $60 game, or are you just going to put it on all platforms and make $60 times how many that sell? Like, to me, it's just retarded that you would think that people are going to buy a console for one game. There was no way in hell I was going to buy a PlayStation just to play Until Dawn. That's so stupid. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to get off that tangent really quickly. Interest value. So basically, in the end, I'm going to give it a... Why is there still paper? I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 on interest. Going on to ease of control. Are the controls easy to learn? Do you have the ability to change them? Yada yada. So this game did give you the option of either playing keyboard and mouse or controller. I played, obviously, controller. That is what I'm used to playing for the most part. It was super easy to learn the controls. It's basic movement, like as most games. The QTEs were fantastic. I made a mention of this while playing the game, that I loved the QTEs. From watching Until Dawn, the QTEs were a little more complex. You did a lot more buttons for PlayStation. So like triangle, X, circle, triangle, Maybe I said that already. Square. So the QTEs here were basically, it was your stick, your fob, on your controller instead. And then if you had to do mashing, it was always A. It was never any other button. So it did make it super easy compared to Until Dawn, which I did really appreciate. Because I thought Until Dawn's QTEs were janky AF and hard to do, and especially the Don't Breathe sections of Until Dawn, I absolutely despised. The ability to just hold your controller still is so fucking stupid, because all you have to do is place it on the floor, place it on the table or your desk in front of you, and you automatically pass a Don't Breathe or Don't Move section. Like, that's so stupid. So at least in this one, they made it where you had to hold a button, and then you had to determine for yourself, based on the cues, whether it was safe to let go or not. That was good. I really liked that. You did have the ability to change controls if you wanted. I didn't feel the need to myself. I left it the same. So basically, as I've stated before, there's really almost no way to fuck up a 10 out of 10 on ease of control unless the game has really shit controls. And thankfully this one had good ones, so it's going to get a 10 out of 10. Graphics is going to be really simple. It's going to be a 10 out of 10. The only issue I really had with the graphics was some of the dried blood on the bodies just looks really patchy. But granted, depending on the type of wounds you have and how it dries, blood can become patchy and scaly looking. So I can't really dig on them for that. It is pretty good looking. It was pretty real looking. The lighting was really nice. You got to determine your lightness and darkness levels. I think I had mine pretty good. Once it got closer to the end, though, it seemed like it was really more dark than I thought it was. It was hard to see some things. But granted, where I record, where my PC is my room is pretty well lit. I have 2 windows, and so a lot of light comes in here. So granted, if I had shut curtains, it would have made the screen brighter than the surroundings. It would have been easier to see. So that's on my part. Transitions are really well. Oh, I didn't see that ghost before when I played, I don't think. Maybe I did. But I think the graphics were fantastic, so I'm just going to give it a 10 out of 10 for that. Freedom of play. That's really going to be the only thing that's going to get docked for. And it's through no fault of the game itself, but I can't say, oh, well, it's not a game that does that, so you have to give it an automatic 10. No. I still kind of want to dig on it a little, because it did have some freedom of play. When you got to certain areas, there were multiple paths you could pick. So there were things you could miss if you picked the wrong path or if you didn't go down both. But I do like games that give you a little bit more freedom of play. Now, I'm not saying like this kind of game has to have like an Elden Ring style freedom of play where you can just go, hello? Oh, it's really letting you hit everything in this watch through. That's funny. I'm not saying it has to have like that kind of level of freedom of play, but a little bit more would have been nice. Like, I think she's gonna trip over this, isn't she? Lol. That's hilarious. But like, I think like Little Hope and some of the Dark Pictures had a little more freedom than this game did. Why is it so echoey? Wait, what? I'm sorry, I have to watch. I do not remember this when I played. He was right by the car when I played last time. So is it only if you miss the QTEs do you get to see her come from behind him? Or maybe I just don't remember that happening. I don't know, it's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks since I played the start of this. Okay, I'm going crazy myself. So I am going to dock it a little bit for freedom of play. I am going to give it like pretty much an 8 out of 10 because it does follow a set story for the most part. Game story. Does it have a good story? Was it explained well? Does it make sense? Yes, I love this story. I stated numerous times while playing this that I really enjoy it when games decide to go the extra mile and do something unique. Granted, werewolves aren't unique. However, the take they did on the werewolves in here was. You don't in other movies and games that I've seen, I've never seen it done in this particular way, where a werewolf basically explodes from the inside out, shreds skin, shreds muscle, and blood everywhere. Granted, the funniest part about it is that, for whatever reason, which I get, it's a game, and they had to be modest, but it's like when they do explode, it's like they keep all the necessary clothing so that private parts don't be showing. So I always found that really funny, because like if you watch like Vampire Diaries or whatever, they're full on butt ass naked after a transformation, which makes sense. I mean, how do you explode like that and your clothes still stay on? Granted, it was in shreds, but it was just convenient, so I found that really funny. But I did like this story a lot. It all went together well. It wasn't too obvious. I mean, if you were really paying attention super fucking hard and not really enjoying the game, and you were really thinking about it the whole time, you might have been able to piece a lot of it together, with the circus and Silas and the werewolf boy. As I stated while we were playing through it, the hillbilly people, the dad, Jedediah and Bobby, I thought were going to end up being good. I thought it was going to be kind of like Until Dawn with the hunter. It's going to portray them as bad, but then in the end they're actually good. And it was actually like a double conundrum for me. I thought it was going to be that way, but it more like was they look sus, makes you think maybe they aren't sus, but in reality they are sus. It depends on how you look at the story, though, since we've seen the epilogue. I didn't really pick a side. The two kids, Caitlin and Caleb, or Kaylee and Caleb, really should not have done what they did to help Silas. None of their business. If they were that concerned about it, they should have just called the cops or whatever. Just let it be. But to let him free and then get themselves infected and then continue the curse along, that was their own fault. So realistically, the Hackett's are kind of victims in this, but granted, after Caleb bit multiple people, it just escalated. And I don't know. You could look at it both ways. They're victims and they're not victims. But I did really enjoy the story. I liked it a lot. So I'm going to get it. I want to give it a 10. I'm trying to think if there was anything about the story I didn't particularly like.
Not the 10.
I think it was done really well. Some of the scenes were a little strange. The one thing I wish that did happen, though, with this game was I wish we got a better epilogue, more along the lines of I want to know what everybody did after the camp. Like, what did they end up doing? I want to know if Ryan and Dylan got together. I want to know if Emma and Jacob got back together. I want to know if Abby and Nick ended up together. Like, it didn't explain any of this. It left it so open-ended. So just for that part, I'm going to have to dock it at least a point. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for that. Extras. Extras in endgame, or their achievements. This game was loaded with extras. So basically, you had clues to find, all sorts of different kinds, in order to not only help progress the lore, but to progress the game and get achievements for. Of course, there's tons of achievements, different ways to die, different ways to finish the game, that I will be doing on my own time, that's for sure.
Remain in the vehicle.
There was also the tarot cards that you could get. There was all sorts of things. And from what I heard, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of different ways for characters to die. Someone in my server said that's wrong, that there's no more than like 40, 50 ways to die when they're actually claiming there's like 70 plus. But in all reality, I could more believe that there is that many. Just based off some of the things I've seen, there are different ways to fuck up and die. So, I do think there's quite a bit of extras. I'm very appreciative of that, so I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for extras. Time, length of the game, too short, too long. Basically, my theory was I'd give a point for every hour of gameplay, but some games are too long. I did not think this was one of them. Every chapter was about an hour long, so give or take, it's going to end up being 10 plus hours, depending on how long it takes you to do certain areas. So it's automatically going to get a 10 out of 10 in that category. But I did appreciate the length of the game. I did like that each chapter was basically an hour. There were some that were a little different, a little shorter, a little longer, but overall, very good length of a game.
Still.
Replayability. It depends on who you ask. To me, it does have replayability, just like the Dark Pictures does, in the sense that, so you didn't do this for me. You can replay it and get different endings, different parts of the story. There were some clues we missed out on because we made certain choices, certain achievements we didn't hit because of certain choices of who made it to the end and who didn't. So there is definite replayability to this game if you can stand the same story for the most part over and over. It's not super different. So like Elden Ring, realistically, it is the same story, but you can change your build, change who you go up against, things like that. I would get it like a really good 10 out of 10 because there's tons of different replayability. This one sort of is, but sort of not, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Price. Oh boy. Is the price justifiable? Every game that comes out starts off really expensive from the get-go. That's just the way it is, and it tends to go on sale later on. Now, do I think this game was worth $60? Not necessarily. I do think it should have been a little bit cheaper, maybe like 40, 45, 50. But I mean, they got to make their money too. All the work. It was a really good game. Kudos to that. But I don't think it was justifiable for that high $60 price. So pretty close in my opinion. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10 in that aspect. And then personal score. My feeling about the game has nothing to do with logic. It's just personal feeling score of the game. I enjoyed it. I really did. As someone, as I said, who did not get to play Until Dawn, I was really appreciative of the fact that I actually got to play something that was supposed to be on caliber with Until Dawn. I wish the end of the game was not as fast paced. I get that. A lot of games do that. All of the Dark Pictures games do that. Until Dawn did that. It's like you have a slow start. You get to know the characters. Aren't as many ways to die. But what I really wish they would do, and I hope they do this in one of the Dark Pictures games that they eventually make, is make it kind of spread out through the game. Yeah, you have the possibility of killing off a main character at the beginning of the game, but at least it changes it up a little bit. So, like, it's going to change the whole gameplay if somebody accidentally kills a main character off at the beginning and then has to play out the rest of the game without one, versus someone who doesn't accidentally kill a main character off and gets to use them through the rest of the game. That's what's going to make a game really interesting. That's a lot of open doorways and a lot of things that could change up a game. But I really hate when they wait till the end of the game to really throw out all the punches and all the ways to die, because everybody's expecting it at that point. You don't expect it really closer to the beginning of the game. So just based off of that, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. But I did really love this game. It is replayable. I do plan on going back and getting all the achievements for it. And sometime down the line, I probably will play it again for fun. I do appreciate the fact that they allow you to go in this game now, chapter by chapter, instead of replaying the whole damn thing. I like that there's a couch co-op. I like that there's a movie mode where you can see everybody die, everybody live in the director's chair. There's just so many nice little things they added to it that was not in Until Dawn and aren't in the Dark Pictures trilogy. Or Dark Pictures anthology. Because, like, I've platinumed Little Hope, but trying to go back and platinum, what's the last one? I can't remember. It's House of Ashes. It's going to take me fucking forever, because you have to start the game over every time for a new playthrough. Whereas in this one, if I want the achievements, all I have to do is go back to a specific chapter and change something. Thank God. So it's not going to take me as long to beat this and get all the achievements. So basically, if I add up everything, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We docked 7 points, which gives it a 93 out of 100, which gives it an A. Which I think it definitely does deserve. 3 less points and it would have been a B. But I do think it definitely deserves an A. It was a well done game. I'm really happy I bought it. Really happy I played it for the channel. I cannot wait to see what this company has in store. We are supposed to have a new Dark Pictures coming up soon. I don't know if it's this year or if it's going to be next year. We're already halfway through the year. I would assume it's the end of the year. It's supposed to be The Devil in Me. And then after that, that's the 4th one. And then I know they're taking a break. And then they've got 4 more that are coming after that go with it. I think there's 8 games in total. So I'm really curious to see what happens next. A lot of people were hoping for a second Until Dawn, and then they came out with this. So I'm really curious to see if they make a 3rd as well. That not something that has to do with the Quarry or Until Dawn, but just another game in general. Because a lot of people really enjoy these games where you have to make choices, and every choice you make determines how the rest of your game's going to go. It's really interesting dynamic. I don't think it gets enough credit, but I really did enjoy this game. That's pretty much my review. I do think it's worth buying. Maybe if you want to wait when it's on sale, definitely get it. It's a good game to play. Future thoughts. Now that I'm done with my review, now that I finished the Quarry, I pretty much have some time before the Mortuary's Assistant comes out. I have almost a month, so I have yet to decide what game I want to play next. I let you guys in on which games I had on my to-do. I just don't know which one I actually want to start. I know I'm not taking a break. I just had one. And I have time to do recording right now. I've had a break in work, and in my personal life is not as busy as it was. So I think what I may do is, while I'm kind of working on the achievements for this, at the same time, I'm going to pick out another game, start from there, and do more recording. More than likely, as you guys know, it'll probably be another horror, as I have 50 plus horror games to play. But we'll have to see. I have not decided yet. I was hoping to have a thought of what I wanted to play so I could tell you guys at the end of this review, but I really don't know. It really depends on my mood a lot of the times of what I want to play. I'm someone who likes to plan things out. I really am. I'm very organized in that sense. But when it comes to playing a game, I have to be in a mood to play it. If I'm not in a mood, I will not play it. And there's just some days where I'm just like, I don't want to play horror. Some days, I don't want to play shooters. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. And that's another reason why I did say I may have 2 kinds of games going at once for you guys. It just depends on what mood I'm in. Now, the Quarry was different because it was a new release, and the same will be with the Mortuary Assistant. As soon as it comes out, I will be playing that the most. Oh my god, it scared me again. Oh, shit. So, I don't know. You guys will find out when I'm decided to play in my next video. But it very well could be the Elden Ring. As I did tell you guys, I might start that just so you guys could see it. But other than that, we didn't really get to see any deaths in this. I thought it was just going to show us the deaths. But we did get to see her trip and fall and get smacked. And some different things happened that didn't happen in my playthrough because of my choices. So, I'm super excited that you guys came along with me as I played this. I can't wait to get the rest of the achievements on this. You guys let me know what you think. When you played, how many people did you end up getting killed? What choices did you make that were different than, oh, she left him on this one. Oh, it's so sad. Look at him. Oh my god, that's heartbreaking. Oh my, it makes me so sad. I'm glad I chose to stay in my playthrough. But yeah, you guys let me know which ones you killed off, which ones you didn't, if you had them all survive, if you murdered all of them, what kind of deaths they had. Just let me know. Let me know what you think. What you think I should play next, what you're hoping to see. If you have any games in mind that you think I might enjoy that weren't on my wish list, or ones you know that are coming up that I might like, just drop me a comment. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.